Hello everyone, I'm Raghav back again with another video. In this video we'll talk about sentiment analysis in Python, and I'll show you 4 different techniques how to perform sentiment analysis on text data. Before I dive into sentiment analysis techniques, let's discuss what is sentiment analysis. So basically, if you want to derive any emotional feeling which is invoked by a piece of text and you want to see what sentiment it conveys, you will perform sentiment analysis on that text. It involves extracting meaning from natural language and assigning it a numerical score, depicting the range of positive or negative sentiment conveyed by the text. For example, Apple share price dropped by 30% due to COVID-19 lockdown conveys a very negative sentiment. However, I bought a new house conveys a positive sentiment. If you see this sentence, a bus is moving on the road, it conveys a neutral sentiment. So, training a machine to detect the sentiment from text automatically is the subject of this video. Specifically for sentiment analysis, I'll be covering 4 techniques, namely text blob, which uses naive Bayes classifier or a pattern analyzer. Secondly, word dictionary based sentiment analysis. Third is custom trained supervised classifier. Or fourth, named entity based sentiment analysis, which is the targeted sentiment analysis. Okay, so before I dive into the code, I would like to say that this notebook is uploaded on GitHub, and if you want to follow along, you can check it out using the link in the description below. Also, I make regular videos about data science topics, and if you want to see more of my videos, I would suggest you please subscribe to my channel and also press the bell icon so that you get notified when I publish a new video. So without further ado, let's get started and discuss our first technique, which uses text blob library to find out the sentiment in a piece of text. So in order to use text blob library, you need to import the dependencies from the text blob library. If you don't have it installed, you can install it using this command here, pip install -u text blob, and you need to import the text blob class and naive Bayes analyzer and the pattern analyzer from textblob.sentiments package. This is an example text here which I will pass through the sentiment analysis package of textblob, and we'll see what sentiment it derives from this text. As you can see, this text looks to be a very positive text, so I would hope that this text is given a very high positive score by the textblob package. So I pass the text to this textblob function and get the sentiment using this blob.sentiment, and polarity is the sentiment, so positive values mean positive sentiment, and if you have a negative value here, it will mean negative sentiments. And it also gives us the subjectivity score, so how subjective the text is. So if it is higher, that means it's an opinion, it's a subjective text. If it's a fact, then the subjectivity score will be low. In addition to the default sentiment, there is also a different analyzer in the text blob library, which is the naive Bayes analyzer, and this naive Bayes analyzer is trained on movie reviews datasets. So if you pass this text through this particular analyzer, you will see it gives it a very high positive score. So before you use any kind of classifier from the text blob library, you should know what kind of dataset you have. So if you have a similar dataset which has movie reviews or restaurant reviews, then maybe you can use this naive Bayes analyzer. But if you have some other type of data like tweets or news articles, then I would suggest not to use naive Bayes analyzer, which is inside this text blob library. Another example, so if you see this example conveys a slightly negative tone. So if you see there's a lockdown in Delhi due to COVID-19 pandemic, blob, the blob sentiment, which is the default method, gives you a negative score of -0.125, which is I think quite accurate for this. And then if you use the naive Bayes analyzer, you see that it will give you positive sentiment, because in a movie plot it might be a good movie plot. So as it is trained on movie reviews, it's giving it as a positive sentiment. So you need to be careful which kind of method you're using for sentiment analysis in the text blob library. And this cell here just shows that the default method is the pattern analyzer. So even if you don't provide it like I'm doing here, it will use the pattern analyzer, and you see the polarity is same for both, right? So pattern analyzer is based on pattern library, and it searches for different kind of patterns in the text to give a sentiment score, and details of which I'm not covering in this video. But if you want me to cover the details of how pattern analyzer actually works, please do let me know in the comments, and I will try to create another video where we can learn about how pattern analyzer works. So that's about the first method, the text blob method, and it's quite easy and you can use it in any of your NLP sentiment analysis tasks, and it's very fast as well. Alright, moving along, the second method which I would like to discuss is the word dictionary based method, and it involves creating a dictionary of positive and negative words. You can create single unigram dictionaries, or you can also create bigram dictionaries depending on the type of dictionaries you create, or n-gram dictionaries, whatever you like, depending on your task. Depending on those dictionaries, you will parse the text and find out if those words are contained in the text and assign it a positive or a negative score. So the idea is to have two dictionaries, one is with positive words and the other with negative words. It can have single words, as I said, or n-grams, whatever you think would be suitable for your task. The dictionary that I am using is I have downloaded it from University of Pittsburgh MPQA corpus. The link is over here. And this corpus contains a TFF file in which you have polarity described for each word. So I parsed this file in this for loop, and I took out all the positive words and added to the positive words list, and all the negative words in the negative words list. And I have also saved them to a file for future use. If you want to use it in future, you don't need to do these steps. And one advantage of this method is that you can add your own positive or negative words. So if you think the positive or negative words according to your domain and you know them, and you can just add it to these lists by adding it here in this list. And this will append the positive and negative words to the list that we created above. And now if you see, I've added these coronavirus, COVID, corona, all these negative sounding words in the current context of our world, and they have been added to these lists here. Next up, I'm creating a function which will use these dictionaries, and you will pass in the text that you want to analyze, and it will first tokenize it into words and then check if that word is contained in either positive or negative, and based on that it will assign a +1 or a -1 score, and to normalize it, it will divide it by the number of words in the text you have passed. So first example, if you see the same example that we had above, the sentiment score calculated is 0.11, which is good. Similarly, the negative sentence that we had, it's calculating a negative sentiment. And thirdly, I'm showing you this, the lockdown is lifted example. In this you see the sentiment score is just 0, because the positive and negative words dictionaries only have lockdown and lifted as positive and negative words. So lockdown is negative and lifted is positive. So one positive and one negative, they both cancel out each other, and it gives a sentiment score of 0, which is neutral. But in reality, this sentence seems to be positive. So you need to be careful where your methods will fail. So if you have very short piece of text, maybe this method is not suitable for that. You need to try out all the methods on your dataset and see and test out various scenarios before you put any of these methods into production. And lastly, I'm just showing how this text is being analyzed by the pattern analyzer. It's also giving it a polarity of 0 because the text is too small for the pattern analyzer to find any kind of pattern in there. Alright, so the next method is the custom trained classifier. So in summary, in this method you train a supervised model by giving it a labeled dataset of positive and negative text, and it will learn the various patterns in your data and learn the weights of the model, and then when you pass in any new text it will return the prediction. So in order to do that, first you need a dataset which is labeled. I have created this labeled dataset manually, which has around 30 rows, which has news articles copied into this data frame with their classes. Either it is positive or there will be negative in this field, neg. This dataset is also available in the GitHub repo, and you can find it in the description box below, the link to the GitHub repository. So after importing this dataset using the pandas library, I'm importing all the dependencies that I'll be using in order to create a classifier. So I have logistic regression, SGD classifier, and naive Bayes multinomial, and you can also use the normal naive Bayes. No need to use multinomial because I only have two classes. And I'm importing count vectorizer, hashing vectorizer, TF-ID vectorizer. In this tutorial I'll just be using the count vectorizer, but you can use other vectorizers to convert your text into vector format before feeding it into the model, and you may have some different results. So this is just to show you how to train a classifier for sentiment analysis. So once we have all these dependencies, in the next cell I'm creating my predictor and response variable. So x is my predictor, which is the text from this data frame, and my response variable are the classes positive or negative, which I'm converting into 0 or 1. Then I do a train test split. So 1/3 of the data is in the test and 2/3 is in the train. And I'm also using stratification so that the data is split in a balanced way, so you have equal number of positive and negative classes in the test set as well. So after the train test split, I'm vectorizing the text data. So I'm passing it in the X train to the count vectorizer, which I'm setting it up as max df equal to 0.9, max features is 1000, and n-gram range from 1 to 3. You can try different options and tune these parameters to gain more accuracy and precision and recall in your model. So after I transform the train set, I also transform the test set using the same vectorizer. The next is a function which I'm creating to fit the models. So I'll be fitting 3 models: multinomial, naive Bayes, logistic regression, and the SVM, which is in this SGD classifier's default method. So the first method is naive Bayes, which I'm fitting it here, and if you see, it has an accuracy score of 90% and a very good precision and recall as well. So there will be very less false positives as well as false negatives. Only in case of negative articles, it's falsely predicting them as positive, but all the positive articles are being correctly predicted as positive, so there are no false positives for the positive articles. I know it's a bit confusing. It took me a lot of time to understand precision and recall in both positive and negative cases, so you need to wrap your head around all these concepts of precision and recall, where you need recall and where you need precision. It depends on the application of your model. So you need to do a bit more reading into it, and if you want, I can create another video on how to understand precision and recall, and please let me know in the comments if you want that. Next up is the logistic regression method. It is also performing in a similar way as the naive Bayes. If you see, it has the same accuracy and the same precision and recall. And third is the SVM, which is slightly less accurate than the other two models. So you see here the precision and recall are quite low, just 70%, and the accuracy is also just 80%. You may configure the SVM in a different way so that it performs better. I'm not doing it here because this is not a SVM tutorial, it's a sentiment analysis tutorial, and I'm showing how you can create a classifier based sentiment analysis. So now you have trained the model, now you test it on some new data. So I have this text which is quite negative text, and if you see, I'm passing it through my model, which is the first naive Bayes model because I ran that cell before I ran this. So it's predicting it as a negative. 1 means negative, as we are mapped above here. If you see, we are mapping the positive and negative to 0 and 1, so negative is 1, so that's correctly predicting as 1, which is good. Similarly, this is a very positive text. If you read, I am happy that the university has given me scholarship for my master's degree, blah blah blah, and this is predicted as a positive text. Now I am feeding in some articles which I copied from these links. This one is first article, which is about some murder or something, and if you see, I am here predicting the probabilities of each class. So instead of using just the predict function, I'm using predict underscore proba, which gives you the probability of belonging to each class. So here you see the class 0 probability is quite low, and class 1, which is the negative, is quite high, which is absolutely 1, so that means it's predicting it as 1. Similarly, the second article, which is a bit positive, and here you see 99% it's predicting as positive. So that's how you train a classifier in order to do sentiment analysis on your text data. In order to label the text, whether it's positive or negative, you will have to either do it manually or use some tools like Snorkel, and maybe ask people on Mechanical Turk to label the dataset for you. But once you have a good amount of data which is labeled, these models can perform quite well. Especially the naive Bayes and the logistic regression are known to perform quite well on the text data classification problems. So that's about classifiers. Next up is the targeted sentiment analysis. So this one is much more accurate and useful than the other 3 methods, because sentiment analysis on a whole bunch of text means nothing. But sentiment analysis which is targeted towards an entity is much more useful for any application that you're looking for to deploy in production, whether it is marketing application or reputation analysis of any kind of entity. So named entity based sentiment analysis is very important. So in this method, we first find out all the named entities in a piece of text. So in order to find named entities, I'm using spaCy library here. I've also created a full video on how to do named entity recognition, where I'm discussing various techniques other than spaCy. So you can find the link on the card on the top right or on the description as well. So here I have 2 functions in this cell. One is the fit underscore ner, which takes in the text data frame that you want to do the named entity recognition on, and then it applies this spaCy ner function, which actually does the named entity recognition on that text and finds out various entities like person, organization, and the geopolitical entities. So this is how it finds out all the named entities and returns them in a dictionary format. So once I run this function and pass in my newsdf, I get all the named entities in this variable here, and you can print them out. So these are all the organizations, so Target, Chemical, UNSW Sydney, all these are named entities which are organizations. Similarly, you have persons, Brian Cornell, Sean Dromgoole. So these are all the people who are being talked about in the text that I passed in. You will see some geopolitical entities as well, like Tamil Nadu, etc., which is a state in India. But mostly it's correct. Sometimes it doesn't work perfectly. Nothing is perfect, so you have to live with that and fine-tune your models as per your application. And here I'm showing all the geopolitical entities. So here you see all the states and cities which it found in the text. Now once you have all the named entities, you can do sentiment analysis for each of them by finding out where those named entities are mentioned in the text and getting the whole sentence and doing a sentiment analysis on that particular sentence. So by doing that, you avoid all the noise around your named entity and just focus on where it is being talked about, and other words don't affect the sentiment of that particular named entity. You can even increase the scope to like previous sentence and the next sentence depending on the context. So it all depends on the context. Context is king in NLP. So you need to fine tune your model based on how you want to do the sentiment analysis, whether it is on just one word or the whole sentence, or like one sentence prior, one sentence next. So that's how you need to train. So you need to do a lot of work in order to create a very good sentiment analysis system. So here I am having these three functions, which is extracting the sentiment from the text that I pass in for each of the named entities. So these keywords which I'm passing here are the named entities, and this function here finds out all the sentences which are using those named entities and return them to this function, which will actually calculate the sentiment using the text blob sentiment package, which is the default pattern analyzer, and it sums all the sentiment that it gets from this, and then it returns that sentiment for that particular entity. And it's also normalizing the sentiment based on the number of words. Similarly, I'm showing here the top 30 organizations according to their sentiments. So I'm passing all the named entities which are organizations to my function, and then it sorts them as per the count of them being mentioned in the text, and then it does a sentiment analysis. And then here I'm showing you the sorted result of each of the sentiments. So you see the House of US Representatives, which is an organization, has a positive sentiment, whereas NASDAQ and DCP has negative sentiments in my text. This is because I copied the articles which had negative news in it, like the stock went low and something happened with Amit Agarwal here, which is negative. So that's why you're seeing negative here. But if you are training it on your dataset, you will see what entities are negative and what entities are positive, so that you can focus your attention on those. Similarly, I am doing the sentiment analysis for top 30 persons according to their sentiments. So I'm showing them here. And the geopolitical entities. So US has a positive sentiment, whereas Bengaluru, Tuticorin have negative sentiments. That's just because the articles that I copied had some negative news about those. So the dataset was not so huge. It was just 30 rows just to show the concepts. So when you have a large dataset, you will see a real result here, and you will see which entities are negative and which entities are positive. Alright, so now I have covered all the techniques which we can use for sentiment analysis. There may be more which are coming up every day in this field of data science, and there are models like BERT and GPT-2 which might perform very well, but I have not used them till now, so maybe in future I'll make a video on those as well. But these techniques which I've described here are used quite frequently as of now, and they also produce very good results, and you can use it in your applications. So I would like to now show you one application of using these sentiments on a book. So first thing I want to point out is that when you have a book which is a very large piece of text, if you do a sentiment analysis on the whole text, you will not get any good results. Like, it just shows you positive equal to 1 or 0.1. It doesn't mean anything. The whole book is positive, negative. Every book will have some positive words and some negative words. So this particular way of doing sentiment analysis on the whole text is not so accurate. Instead, what you would do is do a sentiment per sentence of that book. And per sentence, if you do that, you will get a sentiment score for each sentiment, or for each sentence, the polarity and subjectivity of each sentence. And then you can plot a graph which looks quite cool, like how the story flows in that book. Here I'm showing it for the whole book, which is around 2500 sentences, and if you see, the whole book is kind of positive, which you would say that the pattern analyzer returned quite a good score, which I may accept. Yeah, it did, but still I would suggest to do sentiment analysis on per sentence basis. Now here I'm showing it for the whole book, but if I change this just for the first 200 sentences, let's see how the story flows. So it starts on a negative note, then it goes positive, then slightly negative, then lots of positive things. So that's how the story is flowing. So to me it looks kind of cool to see how the sentiment is flowing in the book. With that, we have reached the end of our notebook, and in conclusion, I would like to say that we have learned about 4 different ways of performing sentiment analysis, but none of them will be perfect, and you will need to carefully plan and tweak the algorithms according to the problem at hand. So you need to check what your data is like, what entities it has, what kind of application you are building, and based on that you will need to either use one of these techniques or several of them to make a very good sentiment analysis system. So that's all, guys. Please do let me know if you have any suggestions or feedback in the comment section below. Also, if you want me to cover any specific topic in my next video. It will help me a ton if you hit the like button and share this video if you found it useful. And please don't forget to subscribe before you go, and do press the bell icon. See you in my next video. Till then, do take very good care of yourself. Bye bye.